Welcome to the 210 Fearless Youth Sports Show. I'm your host, Coach Sadiq. And before we get into it, let me go over a formality, which is the disclaimer. If I can find it, where's my disclaimer? Okay. Oh, this is not going so well. Okay, here we go. No, that's not it. That's not it. And let me see. That's not it. Okay. The, we'll find a disclaimer. You know what? I got to roll without the disclaimer today because I cannot find my disclaimer. Nevertheless, we're rolling. Okay, today's topic is K.I.S.S. Keep it simple, stupid. I didn't originate this, of course. I heard it from Coach Gilbert was the first one I heard it from. I don't know if he originated it, but nevertheless, I like the concept. And just a quick note, this podcast, this show is geared toward parents, parent coaches, or anyone that is involved in youth sports, whether that be football, baseball, softball, flag, which is football, or the real football, which is soccer, or basketball, so on and so forth. The topic, because of the season, may weigh heavily upon football, but it's not exclusively for football. But today it might seem so. So that's just a quick note I wanted to make. Some coaches may feel like this is beneath them and they already have this knowledge and have better knowledge. Then this means this is not for you. I pray that you will come on the show and actually educate from your perspective. Nevertheless, K.I.S.S. Keep it simple, stupid. When overthinking results in underperformance. When overthinking results in underperformance. Okay, meaning that you put together a team, you engineer the offense, defense, special teams, what have you, and for some reason you are not getting the results that you hope for. So because of that, we say K.I.S.S. Keep it simple, stupid. 6 years ago, I started a flag program at a charter school. The coach was indeed a soccer coach, and he wanted to start a flag program because I was involved with NFL 360 and have won championships every year in two age groups. Actually, I coached, but only 1 year I came in second place because they changed the rules in the championship game. But we're not gonna go there. They changed the rules on me quick. Anyway, so I guess to break the monotony, I guess, right? So, nevertheless, 6 years ago, I started this flag program at the school because the coach was a soccer coach, and he was told, "Hey, reach out to Coach Sadiq. He knows soccer. He knows flag football very well." So what happened was he reached out to me and said, "Hey, could you come and engineer this program for me and teach me how to coach flag football, teach my players how to play and teach me how to coach." And I did that before 6 years ago or so. I did that before COVID, and then when COVID hit, of course, things ceased and desisted. Is that a word? Desisted? Ceased and desisted. Okay, nevertheless. So as per usual, I went to check up on the team to see how they're doing. They're still running a lot of what my scheme and he instituted or, engineered something from himself that he learned. It seems to be working. They're doing very well. But when I went yesterday, this particular game, they had a back-to-back, one Tuesday and one yesterday. So I went to this game and I noticed that the score was 6-0 when I got there. We were up, okay? And then just a note, I don't stay in the coach's ear. I let him do his thing. Okay, my job was to get the ball rolling, produce a momentum, a winning system, attitude, style, and then it was for him to take over. So his wins are his and his losses are his. Okay, so I got there with 6-0. We were up. Then the other team scored and made the extra point. So it was 7-6, and then the other team scored again. It was 13-6, so on and so forth. Um, I think that they may have tied it 13-13 by halftime. Okay, with that being said, I went down. I noticed that the quarterback, QB1, was holding the ball for too long. Now there's a 5-second rush rule. At the 5 second, you are allowed one rusher to wake the quarterback up to put him in the fire. Quarterback can then run, or actually he can run before that. That's true. But the quarterback can either run, scramble, get the ball out. But when the quarterback holds the ball too long, we all know that's a recipe for disaster. But I saw the QB1 holding the ball too long. You got a 5 second count. 3 seconds, is enough time to get off your pass. Over 3 seconds, you got time to bake a cake. Okay, so he was holding the ball too long. So I went down to the coach, which is not customary. I don't usually do that. I saw them struggling when they usually wax teams. Okay, so I went down and I said, "Hey, coach, just advice. I think you should fine tune." And I gave him some advice. Okay, and he said, "Could you tell him?" Because I told him that already. I said, "Okay, cool. We're on the same page." Nevertheless, halftime comes around. I think it was 13-13 or something like that. QB1 walks over. Usually they huddle to the side, talk to coach, gives them a pep talk, get water, Gatorade, whatever. QB1 came over to me, okay, and he says, "What do you see? What do you see?" I said, "You're holding the ball too long." I say, "After 3 seconds, if you haven't got rid of that ball," I say, "what you need to do is run." I say, "Run." I say, "You're more than capable of running all the way down the field," because I trained this guy. So I said, "But you can go minimally 5-5-5 first, 5-5-5 first, because in this league, 20 yards is the first down. So I can say go 5-5-5 first." I said, "That's better than sitting there holding the ball. Now you're fourth down and in panic mode, and the guy that's rushing you is just as fast as you are, or even faster and agile." Okay, so because of that, I told him that. Not giving myself credit, but this is exactly my words to him, with a few more things, small details, and they won. I think it was 40-13. So 40-13 was the final score. That team did not score again, but our team, I'll say our team, because I was part of the process. Our team scored upwards of 40 points, if that score is correct. There was no scoreboard, but that's what the parent posted in the group me, okay, that it was 40-13. Okay, so nevertheless, when you engineer, what I notice about youth ball is that coaches, I don't know if it comes from Madden, if it comes from the old high school, junior high, college scheme or whatever, but they tend to run pro sets, which I've seen pro sets in flag, in young flag, before tights. If you're talking about tight, or before tights flag, I've seen pro sets, and it is possible to be done if you have the personnel. So what happened was, what I noticed in youth ball is that some just, they over engineer it, they overthink it, and then they underachieve and they don't understand why. And then at that time is when the children start getting yelled at. The children are doing up downs. The children are running laps and doing sprints and suicides and things like that, because the coach can't seem to understand why these kids aren't performing like they should. Well, it's school time. These kids have a lot to study. We know kids miss practice because of school. Kids have a lot to study. They have other things to do that are way more important than youth ball, believe me. There are kids that walked on to their high school senior team and actually in the NFL right now. This is real talk, okay? So youth ball has its purpose. It has its ebbs and flows. It has its lessons necessary for life. But at the end of the day, let's not make it more than what it is, okay? So I say KISS, K-I-S-S, keep it simple, stupid. Uh, they over prepare, okay, and then they underachieve and they don't understand why. So you got to think about, you know, where you want to go on the field. Where do I want my players to go? I know one particular instance that uh, I noticed one kid. Matter of fact, Robert Summers. He's on my Facebook friends list. His son uh, would do like the tight end around type thing, and he went all the way to the outside on the sweep, far sweep, and then he would run down the sideline. But I noticed that in the game, second quarter, third quarter, he would get really tired because he's running, he's doing zero to get to the 100. Okay, so I suggested, I say, Coach, I said, well, why don't they put your son on a screen or a bubble, you know, so he could go, north. People say north and south, but we're going north, right? So so he can go north. I say that's better than him running that long, and you can see he's getting tired. We say every down back, so on and so forth. Well, if you're running 30 yards this way just to go 5, 10, 15, 20, even touchdown this way, it's going to tire you out. So nevertheless, I say KISS, keep it simple, stupid. And he wasn't the head coach, so I was just telling him maybe he can relate it to the head coach. And I was, a team owner, 3-part owner, but I usually don't mess with the coaches like that. Although I was acting AD. Nevertheless, so what happened was this is what was happening, and I say wherever you want your player to go on the field for him or her to succeed, then that's where you should put them, and your play scheme should be like that. I remember when I was in junior high, and we had this play tight end around was almost it was just so wonderful. Nobody could stop it. Nobody could stop it. Tight end around with this guy named Michael Steptoe, and I don't know if I should say his name because I saw him at HEB on the east side. And he gave me the big eyes. I ain't like that. I ain't like that too much. That wasn't natural. So maybe he changed up a little bit, but nevertheless, Michael had the tight end around, and that was almost an unbeatable play. Tight end around. And back then, Emerson, which they call Wheatley now, I think. Emerson was the team to beat. Emerson, oh man, Wheatley courts, Emerson, they used to tear people up, but that play we had was very successful against them. Juggernaut teams like that back in the day. I'm old, so back in the day. Nevertheless, another instance I can bring up, I had a quarterback that he said, Coach, I don't want to get hit. He couldn't throw more than maybe 20 yards. He said, Coach, I don't want to get hit. That's my biggest fear. And I said, I'll design a system where you won't get hit. So my system was in and out, in and out, in and out. And we did very well that year. We went 4-4. And the reason we went 4-4 in Taifa is because we went 0-4 in the beginning of the season. I had 12 kids. I did not expect them to to go all the way. My main concern was to keep them safe because they played both sides of the ball, very little rest in between. And what I did was we went 38-36 against the John Jay Junior Mustangs, I think it is, John Jay Junior Mustangs. And that was a very momentous game. And after that game, that was our 4th game that we lost in a row. I said, are y'all tired of losing? They said, yeah. I said, okay. I said, I'm going to make some changes. I said, I'll see y'all at practice. I said, we're not losing anymore. And we went 4-0 for the rest of the season. We're sitting on the bubble waiting for Typhus call. They didn't call us, so we missed the playoffs. But that was my worst season I ever had. And what I did, I went with a double tight end set. I told that quarterback, I said, look, you got to do quarterback. I can't have one receiver and one quarterback. I said, I need a double tight end set. I said, I'm going with a heavy block. And my guys block, they pick kids off their feet. Now, one of the people on my team was my son, Wakil. Now, if you watched him I forgot what game that was. I don't know if it was Harlan or what game that was. He went in as a fullback and he would do a heavy block, for the running back. Or he going as a decoy block because they know he was really very strong. So he blocked that kid off his feet, and he just known to pick them up. But in this case, it was Joseph, my second tight end. They were an unstoppable duo on the offense and defense. I mean, got most of the tackles, made all the yards, and we did 4-4 that year. That's because I didn't go with my original plan in the beginning. I didn't want my kids to get hurt with only 12. And I say, hey, we're just going to have fun this season. We don't have the personnel to do so. But after that Mustang game, people were kind of talking before the game. They were talking. I'm going to tell you about these mercenaries and why I played so hard or why I coached them to play so hard in that particular game. I'll tell you about that in another occasion. But nevertheless, I'm saying K.I.S.S, keep it simple, stupid. Now, why keep it simple? I say because a lot of coaches are running these pro sets. There's nothing, if you can do it, do it. Up in age, of course, but the younger ages going from flag to tackle, haven't been tackled ever. Then you go into these pro sets, you got these ideas, and it's not always going to work. Multiple sets, multiple formations, things like that. The kids are getting confused. I'm going to tell you what my way is. My way is to start the season, first game, with perfecting 3 to 4 plays. My fourth play may be the dive. That means I got my defense, my blocking scheme intricate in the actual running play. I got 3 left, I got 3 right, I got 1 dive type play. Okay, so again, right through the interior. So that's the way I do it. Then every game I'll add a play or two. By playoff time, my quarterback has 100 plays in. And this is proof in the pudding. My quarterbacks have waved me off. They waiting on the play call. I say, quarterback in the huddle, like, we got it. He said, we got it. They knew exactly what to do because it's about putting your personnel with their skill set, what they do best, on a certain part of the field for them to succeed. Okay, and this is what I advocate for new coaches, especially. Now, if you're one of those coaches that know 10 times as much as I do, have fun with it. If it's working, it's working. But for new coaches or parents that just want to be there to help because they want to share that moment, with their child who's playing sports and they want to volunteer, this is really for you and for other coaches that may be able to benefit from it. So, again, I start with 3 or 4 plays. Then I build. Now we perfected something for the playoffs. We're not making those rookie mistakes and so on and so forth. Now the first game of the season, anybody knows me, I call it my butterfly game. I'm not too concerned about winning that game. I tried to win that game, but if we don't win, that just tells us where the holes are in our practice. Okay? Now, true story. When I was with the Predators for that 1 year, okay, we lost our, I'm thinking 4th or 7th. I don't know why I can't figure out what game we lost. We lost the 4th or 7th game of the season. The 4th or 7th game of the season. And they were told, the kids were told, and I'm a witness to this, and Coach could tell you, he told the kids nobody can ever score on us. And nobody actually scored on us. Could have been the 4th game. I think it was the 4th game, if I'm thinking back correctly. Anyway, nevertheless, nobody ever scored. But this team in, Floresville, whatever they were, they still got their team, Floresville something. They scored on us. And the kids looking at Coach like, Coach, what happened? You said teams could not score on us. Okay. Nevertheless, they scored on us. We ended up losing because my son ran, going for the touchdown. He wasn't high and tight. He was like this, running like a quarterback, and he was not my quarterback. And they punched the ball out and recovered it. We lost. They punched the ball out and recovered it, and we lost. Okay? So the coaches gave their talk. People gave their talk. And when it was my turn to talk, I said, I'm happy we lost. And parents looking like, and the coaches looking at me like, what you talking about, dude? I say, you know what? An undefeated season gives you a false sense of bravado. It's like a guy that carries a gun. He don't want to fight, It's like a person that's full of alcohol. They got that liquid courage, okay? I said winning, going undefeated in the season can be bad for you if you have this false bravado. I said, we have a lot of things to work on this team. I say, and this winning is giving us a false sense of euphoria, like no team can score on us, but they did. Floresville Wildcats. Anyway, no team can beat us, but they did. Okay, but they did, thanks to my son. But nevertheless, uh, the point is that I said, you know, now we know what we need to work on: securing the ball. You know, stop being lax. I said we missed a lot of tackles. You know, we got too cocky. I said, I'm glad we lost. Now we're going to go to practice, go back to the lab. I say, now nobody will beat us for the rest of the season, guaranteed. Now I'm throwing out some stuff, right? But I'm telling you, this team was a bad team. This team was a nice team and coached very well. Coached very well. So, you know, I had whatever I said. We had to manifest it. So practice, we fine tuned, and it was a pretty good season. Okay. Nevertheless, like I said, I like to give the kids something to perfect for the playoffs, so we don't make those mistakes when we have to make that last play. We just saw it with the Ravens. Coach could have kicked the field goal and got 3 points, possibly, more than likely, 90-some% tile kick, 3 points. But he decided to go for it on fourth down, and it ended up being intercepted, okay, in the end zone. So this is what we have. It's making those calls, making those calls. So, and when you perfect something, then that play is easy. That play is easy. Why? Because you perfected it for the playoffs. So when you call that play you need to win that game, it's going to happen. You're going to win. Okay. So anyway, butterfly game, first game, get them butterflies out, see where we are. If we win, all my notes, win or lose, all my notes are practice notes. If I showed you, I go to Google Docs, I make practice notes. What we need to work on. That's what I make practice notes. So, with those practice notes, that's what we work on, and we get better and better and better. And pretty soon, we reach a point where we're really unbeatable. The only way they can beat us if they have better personnel at certain positions, or they out coach us. A lot of times, like I said, I don't always have to be the head coach. I don't have to be a coordinator. I'm there just to help. I'm there to walk around. Coach don't understand why the handoff is so clunky. I said, man, he's moving before the quarterback secures the ball. I say running back should not move on the snap. Especially when they're tight, they're winged, tight, or in the eye even. They should not be moving when the ball moves. The running back should move when the quarterback secures the ball, or he can stunt, or he can do what I do, which is I call it a Logan, which that's some of the secret sauce. But nevertheless, different things you can do. So I'm there just to fine tune things. I don't have to have a name or a position. I don't have to have that. That's not. I don't need it. I know what I bring. I know what I can do. I know my training program. I know my coaching. So the kids are gonna love me because they know when they say players coach, I'm a players coach. But I don't let the players run over me. Of course not. You know what I'm saying? But I'm a players coach because I'm concerned about the player, not only physical, but I'm concerned about their mental. Meaning that they need encouragement. If I yell, I'm yelling at the team. Okay, and I never curse kids out. I don't insult them. Okay, like I've heard. Okay, but nevertheless, what I do is that I coach. I'll yell at the whole team, and I'm not yelling insults or yelling at them. I'm actually yelling, hey, secure the ball, ball. Fire. I'm yelling stuff like that. Like son. If it's one-on-one, I say, son, look, you gotta open up. You can't be acting like a Matador O-lane runners. You gotta step into it, son, and that way you can wrap up. I say, let me show you. And I'll show him 1,000 times because I need him to get it right one time in the game. That's what I need. So anyway, not much to go now, but one thing I wanted to say is that if we take an NFL example, Cooper Rush is doing really well for Dallas Cowboys, and often you'll find this with QB2s. They'll do well because what the coach does, he says, oh man, QB1 is down, so we're gonna shorten the playbook, and we're gonna concentrate on what you do well. Well, that's what everybody should do. the plays should, most do, but some coaches are stuck in their ways. Some coaches want you to fit into their system. Okay, you know, their system. RG3 went through that. Okay, he wasn't allowed to do RG3 stuff. What got him to the NFL? He was told to do. Was it Shanahan? Kyle is the son. I forgot the dad name. Shanahan. Anyway, for Washington at that time, uh, coaches have a system. They stay rigid in that system. I know coaches that got passing plays. They don't have receivers. I know coaches that got passing plays. They don't have a quarterback that can throw past 10 yards. I've seen it. I've seen it myself. And this really doesn't make any sense. That means that coach got that system from Madden, YouTube, something that he experienced when he was a child. So vicariously, he's implementing the system, or he enforcing the system upon the kids. Now, um, what I do, this is just I take the kids through drills, training, so on and so forth. Then I say, what do we have? We got catchers, we got corners, we got safety, we got all these different elements. I say, okay, let me design a defensive and an offensive, if I'm in charge of that, right? Defensive and or offensive system to just to expound upon what the kids have, to make their skill set relevant, to make their skill set relevant. So that's what I do. I just, I just expound upon it. Whatever they have, if you can catch, I'm gonna put you in positions to catch and go. Okay, if you can run very well, I'm gonna put you in a blocking system and in positions and doing certain things that make you do that very well. If you are a north type player, I'm gonna put you in positions where you can run north. I won't have you sweeping wide, wasting your energy. Then by the time you turn, you at 75%, and then third quarter you're about 65%, and in the fourth quarter you're really at 50 because coach had you running. You ran 300 yards for zero. You ran 300 yards for zero yards gain, and then then you went north and got a few yards that way. Okay, so you're 300 and it's an improper fraction, 300 over 70 maybe for the game that you actually gain. Nevertheless, what we have to do is keep it simple, stupid. Like I say, my way is 3 or 4 plays for the first game. Even if I have a playbook that has 100 plays, and actually my playbook is right here, and my kids, I put it in my QB and my kids right here. I mean, that's how we do it. But nevertheless, I trust them. I trust them. High brow, high intellect. That's what I go for. And then if they can't get it, I'll bring it down, 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 down. We always start high because I don't want to insult them. Some really, really get it. They get it young. But nevertheless, so me 3 or 4 plays, one formation. That's the last thing I'm gonna talk about. I do one formation. Out of that one formation, I can call 100 plays out of that. I remember one time we were running. We went left, 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 left. And the coach on the other side of the field was so mad. He said, all they do is go left. The coaches looked over and said, stop it. Stop it. If you can't protect the left, our left, we're going to continue to go left, 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 left. And we won. So, I mean, the objective is to win. We won. We won. And if the next team think we're running left, yeah, they're going to be due for a rude awakening. They're going to be due for a rude awakening. But nevertheless, that's all that I have. Don't overthink it. If you overthink it, you may underachieve because the kids don't play Madden with you. The kids they're not looking on that YouTube or Google how to run plays or what plays I should run. I don't make up my playbook because my playbook is here technically. I don't decide what I'm going to do until I see what the kids have. I've seen passing plays like, man, I've seen without a quarterback, without a true quarterback, I've coached so many teams without a quarterback. We did very well because we did what Peyton Manning did in his last season. He handed the ball off well and dink and dunk, short passes, screens, things like that. You know, that's what he did his last season. Got a Super Bowl. What are you gonna do? Success is success. So again, that's the point that I'm making. Man, you got to know your personnel. And like I said, last thing I'll mention is one of the advices of one of my mentors in coaching. Because I actually chose to do video. I chose video. I coached and then I stopped. I started doing video. Now, why was I doing video? I would edit the footage, give it to the coach, and say, "This is what we're doing. Use this to get better." I noticed the coaches for this one particular team. I'll tell you about the mercenaries one day soon. Uh, One particular team, he was just using the footage to make highlight videos of his son. I mean, not really using it for practice or anything. I'm like, they know we're weak here. Why don't they? They still got the same corner. You're not getting any work. You're not getting any training. So I say, you know what? I'm gonna stop the video. I went right back into coaching. I say, let me help over here because these coaches are not, as soon as their kids grow out of the league, they're going to stop coaching. And that's what separates a parent coach from an actual coach. They'll stop coaching when their kid grows out of it because it's not for the love of coaching. They're just there which there's no fault. They're there to enjoy the glory years of their son's youth ball. They have no problem with it. I'm just saying there's a separation between a coach and a parent coach. Okay, and one day we're going to discuss what's worse, daddy ball or buddy ball. I got stories, but I won't give any specifics. If you know who you are, okay. So anyway, that's really all that I have. So with that, I'm going to bid you adieu. This has been Coach Sadiq for 210 Fearless Youth Sports Show, and I'll see you all next time. I'm out.